Hello to the chicos and the chicas. I've been sick for a while, so I couldn't upload any videos, but today I came across a position that I thought I would be able to make a little YouTube video for you just to ponder about. So here we go. This position occurred actually today in a lesson between me and a student of mine, and in this position white played e4. And this is going to be the topic of discussion for today's video, which is basically a way to talk about decision making in endgame and evaluating positions correctly in endgames. What is the correct response to e4? Perhaps we only have correct responses in terms of, yes, black is a pawn down, but we have got immense piece activity, and so almost no matter what we do, the outcome is likely to be a draw. For example, take on e4, bishop takes back, bishop d5, bishop takes and king takes is a rook ending that is impossible not to draw with black, because yeah, the rook is pressuring this pawn. Rook b3 is going to hit two ways. Yeah, in fact, after rook c2, rook b3, I would even argue that black is actually slightly better here due to the huge piece activity. But I was provoking my student here a little bit, and I put forward the idea of, why didn't we play f4 here? And the answer was instantaneous, as was the decision making in the game to not to play f4 but to take. And I really wanted to spend some time with him on this, as well as with you, dear audience, now, about how to evaluate f4. And his response was that he didn't like takes because of the protected deadly e4 passed pawn in the middle of the board. And this is the type of evaluation that I do come across a lot on club level chess, and I thought that it is very well worth dedicating an entire video to discuss this problem, because it's such an easy fix. Because this evaluation that white is better here because of the protected passed pawn on e4 is completely false and back to front. And it is also super easy to fix. So what's the issue here? First, and the main issue is that we are evaluating this position on account of one factor in a position that has got at least three major players at role, and the pawn on e4 is only one of them. Ironically, by the way, this is a negative, not a positive. But let's take into account what I'm talking about. Piece activity. Hello. Rooks, bishops. That bishop is miserable. Now we have f3, by the way, to completely kill it. Or soon will, actually, sorry. Depending on what they do. Actually, f3 is white's best, by the way. So that says a lot about the bishop on g2. But once again, what is the idea? The idea is that we want to evaluate taking everything into account, not only one factor. Because you can argue that, oh, amazing pawn on e4, but I will immediately counter with, you are a piece down because your bishop on g2 is not playing. And in fact, that argument is way stronger than the first one, except that one is already on the board. And so we don't even need to think deeply about it. It's there, so we can immediately draw a conclusion. Whereas to identify that this bishop on g2 is doomed for the rest of its life takes some more dynamic, more long-term type of thinking. We also know that the rook is really, really active. The bishop has a lot of play. And the overall conclusion is that white is fighting for survival here. And almost every move loses for white except for f3, which after bishop e6, rook c2, followed by rook b3 is still clearly better for black. I mean, you see it, right? Like, white is miserably trying to defend every single pawn there is on the board. No chance of moving forward. And the supposed reason why white is better here, the pawn on e4, is not going to make a move in the next 50 moves. g3, by the way. And like h4 is white's only to stay alive, and yeah, maybe white can hold this, maybe. But yeah, I'm not even sure if I played this accurately enough. So, easy fix, very common problem. When you are evaluating a move, especially a pawn move, by the way, that changes the structure, you cannot possibly evaluate the resulting position based on one factor. Not unless it's a very rigid structure, where one major feature, for example, a good bishop versus bad bishop or good knight, bad bishop, is just instantaneously deciding the fate of the game. This is not one of those. Here there are many things at play, multiple arguments and counter arguments, and so if you single it down to one feature, e4 pawn, you're almost certainly going to make a mistake and you're going to misevaluate the position, which is exactly what happened. And because of we didn't like that, we took here and then after bishop f7, which was a bit meh, eventually we even went on to lose this, which I shouldn't say even, because white is a pawn up, so it's quite possible. But yeah, after f4, I definitely would have preferred to play this endgame with the black pieces. It's a good idea to practice this decision making, this type of decision making, by playing out endgame scenarios like this. By the way, with a training partner, change colors to and fro, and try to learn from the plans that you discover during the game. But it's very important to dedicate plenty of time to playing out like this, which was also the other reason, by the way, why this decision making was really off in the game, because this move fe4 was played in really quickly. So to identify the value of f4 correctly and to analyze the pros and the cons, and then to come to the correct conclusion, would have taken several minutes. So in summary, when evaluating major changes, but even simple moves in an endgame scenario, you really need to take into account everything that is going on the board: piece activity, material balance, pawn structure, the whole lot. Bring them under the same umbrella, add them together, make the equation, figure out what it says, and you will be a much better endgame player. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in for the short one. I hope to be back with more videos soon. Yeah, stay tuned. Please don't forget to sub, to like, to super thank me if you can, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.